Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Matthew and today we're going to be taking a look at how to restring the Rickenbacker 325. Obviously there's a ton of videos on YouTube on how to restring guitars in general, electric guitars, acoustic guitars, bass guitars, whatever. But I haven't found a video on how to restring a 325. Not that it's super different, but this guitar is a little particular and a little temperamental when restringing it, so I thought I'd show you that process and why you have to use certain gauge strings and fun stuff like that. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it. If you do, don't forget to like. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Don't forget to share the video too if you do like it. I have a lot more Beatles content and guitar content coming soon. I'm working with a local guitar shop to bring some vintage gear in and start reviewing it and do things like that. And I'll just have more videos coming soon. I have a new guitar coming as well, Beatles related of course. So hope you enjoy it. If you do, I already said to like, comment, rate, subscribe. Anyway, let's get started. I'm talking too much. Let's go. So it should go without saying that the very first step is to, of course, remove the old strings, and I've gone ahead and loosened all the tension from the strings, and then I cut them in half. I personally cut mine. Some people don't cut their strings at all. They just like to wind them off. I like to cut them in half because they're easier to fit in the trash can that way, personally. And then this guitar is particular in the fact that it's very hard to do anything like restringing-wise because it has this bridge cover, and they would be stupid if it wasn't able to remove. So of course you can remove it, but you have to have a little tiny screwdriver to do that. So there's these little screws on this bridge cover here. You don't want to lose these screws to the bridge cover because they're like $8, and I know that because I lost one. I lost one on my Rickenbacker 12 string, and I had to buy this little tiny screw. These little screws in here, can you see that? I had to buy one of those. They're very tiny. Anyway. Hopefully I don't lose those. And now, of course, you can see the lovely saddles. The saddles are kind of cool in this guitar. They're like brass rollers, which you can see right there. So that's pretty neat. And now we can easily remove the strings out of the tailpiece. So we'll go ahead and do that now, and then I'll come back to you. So something else that's a little unique. I was going to take these off and then just come back to you, like I said, but I forgot that. It's a little strange using this Ascent, I think it's Ascent or Ascent, whatever, tailpiece vibrato that Rickenbacker makes. Pretty good vibrato. It's a little weird to restring at times. I think it's easier than a Bigsby, but what you actually have to do is, the very first time I got this, I was like, I can't get the old strings out. What am I supposed to do? Well, you actually just push down on the tailpiece and then slide them out. So you get a fair amount of pressure. And slide them out the side just like that. So obviously the bassy string is near to impossible to get out, but we get it out. So anyway, I think it seems to get stuck right there all the time. Anyway, I'll keep getting these out. Hopefully, almost there. Maybe not. There we go. And then I'll come back to you. Rickenbacker, yeah. And now that we have the strings out of the tailpiece, as you would do with any guitar, you want to clean the body and the neck while the strings are off. A big note to make with these Rickenbacker guitars in general is that on the neck you do not want to use steel wool because the neck is laminated. So what I highly recommend, and I've plugged this product before I think, it's called Gorgamite. So it is the world's best fret and fingerboard cleaner and conditioning cloth, and that is not a lie. A guitar tech funded this and made it himself, and he personally packs every package himself. I think he's out of Dayton, Ohio. It's pretty close to me. Where does it say? Hamilton, Ohio. Really close to me, actually. And this is the greatest stuff ever. Never use steel wool again, and I think it even says, it literally says that at the bottom of it. Never use steel wool. Anyway, this stuff's amazing. You can buy it off Amazon. He's not giving me any of this to plug it. I'm just telling you that as a guitar player that stuff's amazing. We'll use that to clean the fretboard, and of course I'm going to polish the tailpiece and everything. I like to keep my guitars really clean, as I'm sure you guys have seen before, and clean all the dust off of it and stuff like that. So yeah, I'll keep cleaning it, and then I'll come back to you with an even shinier guitar. So you can see she is perfect and clean now. I think a second ago I said that this was a laminated fretboard. I meant to say lacquered. You can see it's like lacquered and coated like the rest of the body. You can see it there on the frets. Where's my finger? There it is on the frets. That's why you don't really want to use steel wool on this. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and take the truss rod cover off. I don't think the neck needs to be adjusted. We'll see once I put the strings on it again, because I'm going to use a different gauge strings than what I just took off. I'm going to go up to 12s. I had 11s. We'll talk about strings in just a second. But yeah, I'll go ahead and take this truss rod cover off and kind of show you what's up with that. So anyway, let's do that now. All right, so we have the lovely, famous Rickenbacker logo off, and something that I don't think it's unique to the 325, but I think it's unique to Rickenbackers in general is the dual truss rod. Correct me in the comments down below, I'm sure you guys will, but let me know if there's other companies that use the dual truss rod setup. So I don't need to adjust this. The Rickenbackers all come with special keys for the truss rod, as most high-end guitars do. But yet again, I don't need to adjust this today, but I thought I'd show you that because it's kind of unique that it has two truss rods, which is nice because you can adjust each, I guess I'd say use the word pitch maybe of each side of the neck. So if it's a little, if it's you know, tilted one way or the other, I can just adjust one, tighten it up a little bit, stuff like that. It's kind of cool. And I wanted to show you the Rickenbacker logo truss rod cover. A lot of people seem to forget that this is a truss rod cover. That's what it is. It's a big truss rod cover that has the logo on it. But it's cool just to kind of see it in detail because I don't think a lot of people get to see these in detail, especially when they're off of the guitar. So it's really cool. It's a piece of clear plastic, and I think the process is called lithographing or lithograph, where they layer, you can see it there, they layer the different, they print, I guess you could say, different layers of paint on there, and then they coat it on the back, clear coated. So you can see it's a clear piece of plastic on the side, but all the paint's actually on the back. So really cool piece. So anyway, we'll put this back on now, don't need to do anything, and get started on restringing it. So real quickly, going to touch on strings. This is something that people have talked about a lot with the 325s, especially the first version that Lennon used, the C58. That guitar in specific, I think you do need to use thicker gauge strings on it. The 325, you don't necessarily have to use super thick strings on it. You cannot use 9s or anything really low. I have gotten away with putting 10s on it before. I normally put 11s on it. That's what it seems to like the most so far, but I'm going to try 12s. If you use a light gauge string, people will complain about the guitar going out of tune a lot. That has to do with the fact that it's a 5/8 scale neck. But we are going to try using the thicker gauge strings today. I've read a lot of places that Lennon used 12s. I've read places that Lennon used 13s. Someone said put 14s on it. That's insanely thick. I've never played anything more than 12, and I don't want to try anything more than 12. But the big thing is we're trying flat wound. So flat wound is that more vintage sound. It's more of a mellow, as it says right there, kind of warm, dead, almost tone to some extent. Doesn't ring out as long. And the 12s I think will be a little more challenging to play because they are thicker, but this is what most people said. He didn't use D'Addarios, obviously, but I like D'Addarios, and they make very good strings, so that's why I'm using them. But the type of flat wound and the type of gauge is very similar to what Lennon would have used, or at least what people would have used in the era. So that's why we're trying them. If I hate them, I'm just going to put 11s back on it. Yeah, so anyway, let's go ahead and get restringing. So as you can see, I went ahead and put the first 4 strings on. Now, I think most people, including myself, when you restring a guitar, you start from the bass E and go to the high E. That's just a common thing to do. On this particular guitar, I actually start with the D and or G string. So I put the D string on first, then I went to the G string and strung both of them up to tension, wound them up to tension essentially, and that makes it a lot easier to get these low strings in. The A and the low E string are kind of challenging to get in at times. Because the strings are very thick, especially the fact I'm using 12 gauge, and they are kind of hard to get through the opening, so it just makes it easier having some tension to push the tailpiece down anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and feed the high B and high E strings on, so it couldn't be simpler, and these strings are great, are very easy to put on, shall I say, because they're thinner, so you just push the tailpiece down. Some people online recommend bending them a little bit. I do that on most of my tailpieces. Or for most of my guitars with vibratos or tailpieces like this, and then I push down, and you simply just slide it through, and that's it. That was very simple. And then you wind it up. So I can probably also get away with go ahead and putting the E string in. Now I don't think it'll go anywhere, so anyway, you really don't have to push down to do that one. So then we'll get the arm out of the way. Go ahead and start stringing up the B. I don't think you guys really need to see me do this, but I'll show you anyways. Alright, so I went ahead and just put the last 2 strings on. I thought it'd be kind of stupid to show you because I'm sure you guys have seen plenty of times people putting strings through tuning pegs and winding them up, or I'm sure you've done it 1,000 times as well. So anyway, it's all strung up now. It looks great. I'm going to polish that tailpiece one last time and tune it up and start playing a little bit and let you know how these flat wounds feel, because I'm kind of curious to see the thicker gauge and the flat wounds what they feel and sound like. So we also have to put this back on, and we will do that now. I don't think this saddle will need any adjusting, but we'll find intonation wise, but we'll find out. It's always important to stretch your strings out, so don't forget to pull on them and stretch them out. A lot of people forget to do this, and they're like, why are my strings going out of tune? Well, if you stretch them all the way out before you start playing on them, they'll generally stay in tune better. Anyway, just a quick tip. I'm going to get back to tuning this now, and then I'll play it some. Alright everyone, that is about it for today on the Rickenbacker 325 restring how-to video thing. Before you go, I do want to leave you with a quick message on my thoughts on the flat wound strings versus the round wound strings on this particular guitar. I have tried flat wound strings on like 4 or 5 other of my guitars, and they did benefit on the Tennessee Rose. I still use flat wounds on that guitar. I don't mind them at all. The Country Gentleman, I can take or leave them. I use them sometimes as well. And I thought that I'd put flat ones on this and I would absolutely love them. But honestly, I've noticed almost no difference. The biggest difference I've noticed is the fact that these are thicker, and that has nothing to do with being flat wound. That has the fact to do that they're 12s and not 11s, which I had them before. So other than that, there's really no tone difference. And a lot of guitars you put flat wound strings on and there's a huge tone difference, and on this just wasn't. And it might just be because this guitar is very jangly, twangy almost, but jangly is a very good word that I heard the president or CEO of Rickenbacker say one time. It's a very jangly guitar. And the fact that I play through an AC30 only amplifies that. Get it? Amplify. It's an amp joke. Anyway, it kind of amplifies that jangliness is going to be the word that I'm going to associate the 325 with, probably. That kind of twangy, trebly tone. So I'll have some more videos coming soon. I'll do some more covers, probably with the flat wounds on it. Who knows? I may play this the rest of the week and I may love it. Who knows? I don't know. So that's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like. Do not forget to comment your thoughts. I'm sure you will anyways. And if you know a Beatles lover, send them to my channel or send my channel to them. Email them, share the video, share whatever. That being said, like I said, comment, rate, and subscribe too. If you're new, hey, subscribe. Why not? You love Beatles stuff, you're here. You clicked on this because you know you love Beatles. This guitar is nothing but a giant Beatles magnet. So, Beatles fans, welcome to my channel. That's it. Thanks for watching. Comment, subscribe. I'll see you soon. I need to stop drinking caffeine.